Head over to BoardGamePrices.com and find the best prices for Kero and thousands of other games. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're going to find ourselves in the futuristic world where resources are hard to come by and everyone's after gasoline or kerosene, and that's going to make everything in this game. Today we're talking about Kero. This is a two-player tactical game. It's from Hurrican Games, so let me show you how it's played. I'll see you on the other side. At the beginning of the game, each player gets one of these huge tanker trucks, which holds sand, which represents time, but it's actually supposed to be kerosene or gas that's going to be used to time your turns as you roll frantically dice to gather resources. Now on your turn, you're going to have these dice, and you're going to flip your truck up like this so that the sand actually starts to diminish from the top there, and then you're going to roll these dice as many times as you want, as often as you want, unless you get one of these fire symbols. This one cannot be re-rolled, but you can continue to press your luck and roll these, but they might get a lot of fires, and you're trying to get a certain resources in order to spend for the round, and you're trying to do it fast because your time is running out of the gas. When you're done, you simply just put this down like this, and you can spend these dice for resources. Now here's part of the board. We have one player sitting on this side, one on this side here. Everyone starts with 2 resources of gas, essentially. That's some of the resources that you can spend even on the dice as you get them. So you're essentially spending those dice as resources. You can spend those resources to get multiple or different cards. Like this one, you could spend 2 bricks and get this card and add it to your player. It's going to be worth 2 points at the end. Or maybe you spend 3 wheat and a can of gas, and you can get this card, which gives you its blue background. It's infinite, it happens all the time, and you get a special ability for the rest of the game. Now these abilities do all sorts of different things. The one that one was says, I get a blue die every turn for the rest of the game. There's colored dice in this game, and they actually are more powerful. They give you more resources than the other normal dice. There's all sorts of other ones, like, hey, you always get one of those resources, or some of the other special dice. Or you could turn wheat into gas can, or something like this, so you can start to devise a little engine building by getting some of those cards and having those abilities for the rest of the game. You can also spend 2 gas cans to get a couple of these turret tiles. Now everybody starts with 2 of these, and these are things that help you break the rules of the game throughout the game. These are sort of one-time use, like, hey, that turn you'll get 2 special dice of your choice. This one you get any 2 resources that you want added to whatever you've rolled. This one, you don't have to you can re-roll the fires that round, so essentially you can use up as much time as you want from your gas. Now, using that gas is interesting because if on your turn, remember this is going down like this and the sand's going down. If it ever runs out, essentially you lose out of that turn, you end your turn and you don't get anything. So since gas, the sand is sort of how much time you have at a turn, and if you don't use it all, how do you get more gas? Well, on your turn at the beginning, you can spend 1 gas can to refuel. And what happens is the opponent takes all of these dice and they're going to start rolling them, and you're going to take your truck and you're going to start filling it up by just holding it like this. It's going to start being filled. This player is going to be rolling and re-rolling, trying to get all of these to be fires. Once they do that, they say stop, and you stopped refueling. So that's how you get it. So now the other player's involved in that part of the turn. Now at the beginning of the turn, you can also decide to spend 2 and get 2 refills like that. It's a really interesting way to give yourself some more time and to keep the other player in the game. And we talked about these special dice a little bit earlier, but you can also spend a can for each one of these dice that you want to add to your turn that turn only. Now you can also spend a person like this in a gear to take any one of your little chips here and place it on one of these. Now this is going to be sort of an area control. The game is played over 3 different rounds. At the end of each round, which is randomized, whoever has the most on here is going to get them. So let's say it kind of looked like this, and let's say the round ended. Now how does the round actually end? Well, players are going to be buying cards, and if you've rolled at least 2 of the fires, this gets discarded, these will come down, and more cards are going to begin to come out pretty much on a turn-by-turn basis. And the deck at the beginning of the game was put into 3 different thirds, and in each of those thirds there's a claim card, and when that gets flipped, the round ends immediately. So you kind of know generally where they might be, but you're not sure that the round can end immediately anytime. Now these do different things. Now if you're tied by default, nobody gets it. These get put back and this would get discarded. But it'll give you 1 point, and 2 points for each set, one of each of the different colors of those different cards we showed you. So this will have you do some different set collection. This one will get you a point for each one of these location tiles that you've gotten at the end of the game, but this one was tied so no one would get it. These would end up getting discarded. Now these ones, this is 1 point for every brown card. So this player, they have gotten this, they place it in front of them, they're gonna be working on trying to get brown cards for the rest of the game. This one will get them just a bunch of gas and 2 points. So this player would actually put 2 of these in front of them. Now regardless of if anybody got any of these, they all get discarded and 4 new ones come out. There's enough to have 3 full rounds of these different tiles. Then after that last round, again, it comes up kind of random when the game ends at the end of that 3rd round of the claim card, and you're gonna add up all the points on your territory cards. Some of them are conditional as we showed you, then you're gonna get points on cards, and again, some of these will influence the scoring here. Whoever has the most points is the winner. All right, well, there is Kero. Let me tell you what I liked about this. Fantastic production, the art, the graphics. Those trucks are amazing. It's probably one of the coolest components I think I've ever seen in a game. Not only because it looks cool and they're huge and chunky, but they're actually thematic, where it's basically the gas going down as sand, and it's very functional because you're holding it up and the gas is going, you flip it over and it's getting refueled. Really, really cool component. Now, the fueling and the rolling the dice is fun and both thematic because you're rolling the dice, you're spending time, which essentially is gas, and you're trying to get this through, but you can also, have the opponent do that as you're trying to refill. I think that's a really cool aspect of the game, and it really keeps the other player interested in what you're doing because they're trying to, while you're getting gas, they're the ones rolling the dice. I thought that was cool. This essentially is a tug of war over cards and locations. You're gonna be building different things. You're gonna be maybe specializing in certain colors, or depending on which locations you get, it's gonna put you down a strategy. And it really is a push and pull, especially for those locations, because it's area control. So it definitely feels like a little bit of a tug of war in different areas, and I like that aspect of it. The building. So you're building these strategies, and based upon that, the set collection aspect is really cool because it's like, okay, am I gonna stop this player from getting a bunch of these and start taking some of the ones that they're working on, or do I need to go in a different direction and do things on my own? Tough decisions to make in the game. I also like that not knowing when the rounds end, it gives a lot of tension to the game. It makes you really think about those locations. Go, oh man, they're winning right now. Ooh, if a card comes up. It also changes what you do because those cards only come up if you've rolled 2 or more flames or if you buy them. So if you know that the round might be ending and you don't want it to end yet, you might be rolling dice and being more conservative, not re-rolling, trying to use the resources you have, not getting those fires, and not buying those cards to make the round last longer because you don't know when it's going to end. So cool ways. I love it when games give you a way to change the timing of the game when things end. This does that, and it adds tension to the game. I love the engine building of those permanent abilities. It really just kind of focuses you, gives you things to work on, gives you different ways to break rules of the game. Really cool. And those area control of those locations is definitely a big battle in the game, and I like that aspect of it. Anything I didn't like about the game? There's no player aid for the special dice distribution. I would have liked to have seen that so players know what they're getting. It's not hard to kind of look at them and see, but it would have been nice if it was on sort of a player aid. Also, I know that the player colors, they were going for sort of that deserty look, but I really felt like they should have made those colors more different. They're not different enough. They're very similar. It's almost like, oh, do I have the right truck? Where are the pieces? They're just light brown and dark brown. Again, thematic, but I wish they would have done something a little bit different for that. Also, the truck, this might have been definitely a design point, but I wish the truck could have used a back window to see sand and how much was left in there. So you can kind of like gauge how close am I, and I think that's probably part of the game. They don't want you to know exactly how much, but it definitely would have, for me, I think I would have preferred having that knowledge as opposed to being like, oh, it's over. I couldn't tell how much was really in there. But overall, this is a very good game. If you like 2-player tactical games, resource management, engine building, back and forth, this is definitely one to check out. That's Kero. Upgrade your gaming experience with Game Toppers. And until the end of the year, with the huge Christmas sale, get 15 to 20% off accessories, thematic mats, storage bags, and rail bundles while supplies last at GameToppersLLC.com.